Sick of building someone else's dream instead of your own? SprayNet is a proven franchise opportunity. With over 120 franchise locations, a national Lowe's partnership, and extensive training and support, SprayNet is transforming the booming $500 billion home improvement and painting industry. SprayNet's patented coating system delivers factory finish results, backed by a 15-year no-peel warranty for long-lasting durability. Homeowners love it, and franchisees profit with industry-leading gross margins averaging nearly 60%. With 3 revenue streams, exterior painting, kitchen cabinet refinishing, and our patented roof regranulation process, you're not just starting a business, you're starting 3 in 1. Low overhead, no brick and mortar, and a fast ramp-up make the earning potential huge. SprayNet is a franchise built for success, where you build wealth and your impact lasts for years to come. Take control of your future today. Visit SprayNetFranchise.com. Again, that's SprayNetFranchise.com.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's portal season, and we give you a look at the incoming players for the LSU Tigers here on the Hannycast.
The Hannycast, a weekly LSU football film study with Charles Hanagriff and former LSU tight end Richard Dickson. Now to break down the Tiger tape, here's Charles and Richard.
And we welcome you into another edition of the Hannycast. I'm Charles Hanagriff, along with former Tiger Richard Dickson. Tonight, we're going to take a look at the incoming players in the transfer portal for LSU. This will be our final podcast before the break for Christmas, and then we'll come back after the bowl game between LSU and Baylor. Let me throw this out as a disclaimer right now. We are recording this on Monday night, December the 16th at about 6:30. I tell you that because from the time we start this thing to the time we finish this thing, things change a lot. So this is the best information that we've got as of the night of December the 16th. Things are going to change. But we thought we would give you a chance to look at some film on some of the players that LSU has already gotten, I can say signed, not even committed here, Rich. So going in, LSU has a lot of needs. They've got needs at defensive end. They've got needs at tight end. They've got needs at offensive line. They got needs in the defensive secondary. They probably have a need at punter, and they had a need at quarterback. So we're going to go through the 7 guys that have already pledged to LSU and show you a little bit of what they have done so far. LSU's got 7 in and 16 on the way out. Again, that's as of December the 16th.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'd like to be clear about is, if there's a target number, how many guys they're going after. If they want to take 10 or 12 in the portal, they want to take 15, or are they near the end right now? Do they want to take 7 to 10?
I think you're probably closer to the 10 to 12. But remember, the rosters are expanding next year. So if you got enough money and you got enough space, there's other guys you could go out there and get. And they got to be players that you want.
No, elite guys. To me, at this point, I mean, you're not going to – you need some guys to come in for backup. But when you're looking at, do I take too many? If this is an elite guy, a guy that you think that can make an impact, day one, it's a guy you got to go after.
All right, so we know that LSU is losing both Savion Jones and Braden Swinson on the outside, and Deshaun Womack put himself in the transfer portal. So the Tigers are looking for edge guys. The first one we're going to talk about is Jack Pyburn, an edge from Florida. He's a junior with 1 year eligibility remaining. He's 6'3", 265 pounds. In his Florida career, 60 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble. On 3 has him ranked number 87 of the top prospects in the transfer portal as of today. So let's take a look at some of the film here on Pyburn. He's number 44 at the bottom of your screen. This first play we're going to look at is a tipped interception. This is going to kind of go rapid fire here on the highlight tape. That's him against LSU. Here he is coming off the near edge, coming in for that hit on the quarterback. Fumble at Florida, ends up recovered against Florida State. Here's one that's good pursuit down the line against Tennessee. Here he is on the near side. Decent play against the run.
I like that play. He stopped him in his tracks, used his hands, played aggressive.
There's another one where he closes down. Here's a goal line play where he's out to the edge and part of a group that stops Georgia back short of the line to gain.
And that's a motor play, a play that he tracked down from the backside, got in on, and made the initial hit.
Here he is coming off the near side edge, again closing down. Not bad against the run at all.
I mean, he fights through the play. He doesn't give up on the play. Even when he gets stopped, he'll be able to get back out and make tackles. Everything I've heard about this guy is he's a high motor, a guy that plays hard, plays fast, runs his mouth a little bit, which I like from a defensive end, a guy that, is going to back it up and be a little cocky. But for everything I've heard about him, sounds like a guy that they need. You got Gabriel Relaford coming back, guy that played really well as a freshman. You need another veteran on the other side to, be out there and be steady.
So what I notice about this is he's a thicker edge. This is not a speed rush guy. He's got some moves, but he's got some bulk to him at 265 pounds. I liked what I saw in that film. It's the second or third time I watched it, that he will stand up against the run. So
he played with a heavy head. I mean, everything I saw out there, he attacked the edge. He set the edge. Wasn't scared of contact. You didn't see him get blown backwards. So when you're talking about just from a run protection standpoint, he's a guy that likes to lay the hit.
We're brought to you by Marucci Sports, founded and operated by current and former big leaguers. The Hitter's House at 5801 Segan Lane, and now in Metairie on Airline Drive, 1801 Airline Drive. Membership privileges at the Hitter's House, 24/7 access to the members-only cages, bullpen cage reservation opportunities, 15% retail store discounts, and you can also have family plans available. All the Marucci aluminum and composite bats available at the Hitter's House, 5801 Segan Lane and 1801 Airline Drive in Metairie. MarucciSports.com. Second player is a quarterback. This is Michael Van Buren from Mississippi State. Ranked number 95 by On3 in the transfer portal rankings. Number 57 player coming out of high school by ESPN. He was originally an Oregon commitment, but when Mississippi State changed coaches, he went with Jeff Levy down there. 6'1", 200 pounds, true freshman, played in 10 games for Mississippi State and started 8 of them. He threw for 1,886 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had negative rushing yards when you take the sack outs, but he had 5 rushing TDs, which, as you'll see in this film, we got some out of the Ole Miss game. You're going to see him make some very nice throws, and then one that's a little bit ill-advised. So let's take a look at Michael Van Buren. Gives LSU some experience here. This is from the Egg Bowl. You see, has a nice throw across the middle, and we're going to show you pretty much this is all on one drive. Here's a nice. I like this throw. It's got a lot of air under it to a receiver.
Really well thrown deep ball.
You're going to see the receiver make a very nice move at the line of scrimmage and get loose, and then Van Buren puts a lot of air under this ball. It's very well placed. Then we come down closer inside the red zone. There's a play action. Nice velocity on that ball to the outside. Mississippi State recovers that fumble, and then you're going to see him run this in for the touchdown from the 6-yard line on a read option. Again, the rushing yardage were negative, but that's because of the sacks. And you see him make a little juke move there, back inside, dive for the end zone.
You're telling me they're going to get a guy that'll pull it.
Yeah, he will. He will pull it. Between Nussmeier, A.J. Swan, and Van Buren, you're now talking about 3 full seasons that these guys. I don't know that anybody else in the SEC has got 3 SEC guys that have started basically a full season. He played 10 games and started 8 of them.
I'll tell you I got a lot of buddies who are Mississippi State fans, and this one hurt him when he got in the transfer portal. They really liked what they showed this year. They thought that, he had a lot to bring to the program and help, carry that next coaching staff, that next regime of Mississippi State football to the next level. But a guy that comes over here, I love that. It's pretty interesting for you get Nussmeier back the same week you get a commitment from a guy that started in another SEC school.
He's got 3 years of eligibility remaining, so he's obviously got his eye on a starting spot in 26 or beyond that.
In my opinion, just watching him, he looks really comfortable out there, stays in rhythm a lot, throws a deep ball well. He's a guy that could have been looking at this offense ran by Jaden Daniels, a guy that liked to pull it, throw it, get out on the edge, run, and maybe that's what he's thinking for his future. Can he get back into this program, sit behind Nussmeier for a year, learn it, know every aspect of it, and then add his touch to the game.
Now, we're not going to just show you the good plays. We're going to show you a mistake that he made later in this game. This is on a play that he tries to throw a pop pass over the top and gets it intercepted. Let's take a look at this play, which is around the 30-yard line. So he's going to stop here and try and loft this ball up into the middle, and it's intercepted there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an ill-advised throw. You're asking a lot out of a freshman right there. When you're going to take off running, there's so many things going through your mind. I mean, it's almost a designed play to the fact where you know you're going to throw it. You're not reading anything. This one is one that, he gets a little bit older, he'll learn to pull it down, but I'm not going to hold that one against him too much.
This gives LSU a senior returning starter, a fifth-year starter, a guy in Van Buren who started most of his freshman year at Mississippi State, A.J. Swan, who started most of a season at Vanderbilt, and Colin Hurley, who's redshirted this year. You're full now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. You filled out the two deep. You've got a good amount of experience there. Right. But you've got a good amount of experience there. You've got some depth. So your quarterback position is solidified. And 3 weeks ago, that was 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, that was anything but sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, just getting Nussmeier back, that's what we're all waiting on. That's the guy that really is going to, carry this team to who we're going to be next year. You had Swan as a backup. Colin Hurley was the guy you talked about as a future. But bringing in a guy like this who had a promising freshman year, it definitely adds to the mix.
Back when we didn't know if Nussmeier was coming back or not, everybody asked, well, what happens if they don't? I said, well, the top quarterback in the portal is John Mateer, the quarterback from Washington State. And all accounts are he's going to Oklahoma. Now Jackson Arnold is going to Auburn. I really wasn't keen on getting into a bidding war for Mateer because I know I got a pretty good idea what he's going to cost. So rather than blow your budget all on that thing, better to and Nussmeier's going to do well.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to get his fair share. Don't think I'm going cheap here or anything like that. But not the number one quarterback in the portal last year. It was Cam Ward, was $5 million. So just let your imagination run wild.
Yeah, I'm not all for that one. But for me, you lose Underwood. Everybody goes all in on the UNC quarterback. He kind of waffles, goes back once Bill Belichick takes the job. I think Van Buren's a good mix right here.
North Carolina did hire a coach, didn't they? Made a little bit of news.
Bill Belichick doing that one.
Just the guy we all expected to take that job, right?
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Dependable Storage with 8 locations across Louisiana and 1 in Gulfport, Mississippi. They'll match any competitor's pricing and offer convenient online rentals and payments. Free use of the moving truck for new rental move-ins. Clean, secure, and conveniently located facilities. Check out the website at dependablestorage.com for locations, pricing, and rentals. Like Skip Bertman always said, Dependable Storage, I want your stuff. Now let's look at a player that LSU fans saw just a few weeks ago in Tiger Stadium. Bauer Sharp, tight end from Oklahoma, rated 125 in On3's portal rankings, 6'4", 243 pounds. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He started his career at Southeastern Louisiana. He moved to tight end from quarterback after his redshirt freshman year in 2022. He was first-team All-Southland Conference in 2023. Last year, he started all 12 games at Oklahoma. He led the team in receptions with 42, in yards with 324, and he caught 2 touchdown passes. We're going to show you 3 different plays out of the Ole Miss game. They're all catches. I was looking out for you. So the first play is a 20-yard catch and run in which he takes a short pass and turns it into a very nice gain.
He's an athletic guy. He's a guy that a lot of people thought well of. I think he runs similar to Mason Taylor. I'm not going to say I've watched a lot of film on him, but just from a pure body standpoint, athleticism, I think he fits that mold.
All right, the second play we're going to watch is a play where it's a 3rd down and 6 for Oklahoma. He finds a little hole, sits down in it, makes a nice, a pretty easy catch, but it's a nice read by the quarterback. It's a 7-yard gain. I like that he goes right at the marker here to where he knows he's going to get the first down.
What I like about it is he read the coverage. He ran zone. That's a read option route to where you're going to move to space. We called it chasing space back in the day, but he sees the 2 guys split. He sits down at the sticks and makes a play.
The third play we're going to watch is down in the red zone, and he does a very nice job to toe tap out in the back of the end zone to catch a touchdown pass from Jackson Arnold. Arnold moves up, lobs this one, and not the easiest catch in the world.
No, I mean, that's just being really aware, understanding your position on the football field. It just shows you to, like, his football IQ, know where you are on the field, and make sure you get the feet down.
Now, you got a chance to see him full on, the last game of the season in Tiger Stadium. So
well, he's a guy they look to make plays for him. And I think he led Oklahoma in receiving yards this year.
he did.
Was a guy they went after a lot. I like everything you showed on this clip. Just don't show him throwing the ball against LSU.
No, he don't want. Don't need him to play any more quarterback. What did you think of him? I didn't include any blocking plays in here, but what did you think of him as a blocker? What you saw?
From what I remember, I thought it was decent. I'd have to go back and really look. For the most part, I saw him getting. When I noticed him was in the passing game. He was a guy that wanted to get out. Some of the plays where Jackson Arnold was running, he was like a run pass option with him getting to the flats. But it was also just a guy that you realized Oklahoma, leaned on.
We're brought to you by Lake Urgent Care. 25 years of experience, Lake Urgent Care, dedicated to providing quality care close to home, treating minor illnesses and injuries from ages 3 months and up. 17 convenient locations. Funny how all these things, these accidents happen during the holidays. Baton Rouge, Hammond, Livingston, and Ascension Parish. Plus, they offer occupational health and weight loss solutions. As a seamless extension of Our Lady of the Lake, patients can access care from anywhere with the MyChart patient portal. Our urgent care centers are open 7 days a week. Simply walk in, or you can check in online or schedule a virtual care visit at lakeurgentcare.com.
Normally, when you do that segment, you ask about my kids.
How are you kids doing?
My wife is at urgent care right now.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It's truth in advertising, guys.
Itchy throat, he's coughing, looks a little red, and she told me she was taking him to urgent care while I was up here.
Okay, well, we'll try to hurry things along so you can get home in time. We got a little bit more film on our next prospect. This is Barrion Brown. He's the highest rated guy on the On3 transfer portal rankings. He's the 15th best player. Wide receiver from Kentucky, 6'1", 182 pounds. Played in 37 games for Kentucky over 3 seasons, 122 career receptions, 1,528 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Let's go ahead and start this because we've got a little bit more tape on him. He's had more plays. Now, his numbers were down a little bit this year, Rich, because Kentucky's passing game struggled. They changed quarterbacks more than once. But what Brown has is, I think he compares very favorably to Chris Hilton. There's a lot of similar characteristics there. The body build is similar. The speed is similar. Just simply put, he's played a lot more games than Hilton over the last 3 years. He's been a little bit more of a durable player. 29 catches for 361 yards, 3 touchdowns last season. Here's the other aspect that he will help. 51 kickoff returns in his Kentucky career, a 28.7 yard return average, and in 3 years he's returned 5 kickoffs for touchdowns. I don't know how far you got to go back to find 5 kickoffs for touchdowns at LSU, but it's a minute, and he's done this 5 times in his career. Also 11 punt returns in his career for 8 yards per punt return. LSU's looking for a big-time number 1 receiver. Maybe Brown's it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, watching this clip, this is the only one I've seen a lot of highlights on. He kind of, and I'm not saying pure talent-wise, but he reminds me of a Jamar Chase with the way they want to use him with the bubble screens, getting him the ball. He's athletic, breaks tackles. Almost like, to me, a mix of Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas from what we got this year with the speed of Chris Hilton. He's a guy that, they're going to hand the ball off to him, or Kentucky hand the ball off to him. They got him the ball on the pitch passes, and just a guy that's got a lot of good ball skills, breaks a lot of plays, and they just want to give him the ball in space and let him run.
I like the hands too. The speed guys, sometimes the hands aren't there. Now he had to turn around and wait for that ball a little bit, but the receivers that they've got coming back. You just don't have a lot of experience there. Yeah. With the exception of Anderson. Xavier Thomas played some, okay? Chris Hilton played when he got in there, and you saw the difference that it made, in that Oklahoma game. If Hilton can stay on the field and you have him on the other side,
this is a huge
and Anderson in the slot.
Especially losing C.J. Daniels. I mean, that was a guy that we're looking to come back. You'd have Daniels, Hilton, and Anderson with Xavier Thomas in the mix. This guy's a plug-and-play, in my opinion, for C.J.
Fourth player we're going to talk about, we don't have any film on him, is Jakeem Jackson because he was hurt all of last season. Well, I say hurt all of last season. He missed the last 10 games of the season. He was 6'1", 189-pound corner out of Florida. He was the 76th best player in the portal from Osceola High School in Florida. He was recruited by Corey Raymond when Raymond was at Florida, so that's where the connection is. As a freshman, 7 tackles and 3 PBUs, 2 games this past season before he got hurt. Jackson is going to go in there And you already know you got DJ Pickett coming in, who's going to start at one side. Ashton Stamps, your returning starter from the other side. They're looking for more cover people. There's a handful of LSU guys that are in the transfer portal going out. This is one that's coming in. He was mostly a receiver, and more known as a receiver in high school. So this is somebody with a lot of upside, a lot of raw talent, not as much experience as you'd hope.
Well, this is one that, without the film, a guy that was hurt, I'm taking Corey Raymond's word for it. I mean, he's a guy that goes out and recruits elite DBs. He knows how to produce them. He brought him to Florida. He thinks enough of him after having him for a year and then deciding to bring him back to another school at LSU. So, this is one that I'm just going to take Corey Raymond's word for it. It's a guy that he wanted to go out and get. He's a guy that he's going to bring in, and he thinks he can do a good job.
We're brought to you by Bayou Apparel, helping local businesses communicate their message since 2009. As one of only a few local LSU official licensees, Bayou Apparel offers the highest quality products to showcase your brand, whether you've got an established one or a new one. Their design experts can help you create eye-catching designs that fit your company's message. They do logos, event T-shirts, and promotional items for your business. Call 225-928-9090 or go to the website at bayouapparel.com. Next player we're going to talk about is another edge rusher. This is Jamari Butler from Nebraska, rated number 152 in On3's recruiting portal rankings. 6'5", 260 pounds, out of Nebraska. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He was a 3-star. He's actually from Mobile in the 2020 class. 2-year starter for Nebraska. 22 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks last year. That was his first year. Last year, 34 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 48 quarterback pressures over the 3-year career. Let's take a look a little bit at Butler and some game tape there. He is number 10. And you see him finishing up a sack against Northwestern. Lean for 260 pounds, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I was about to say he looks more of like the speed guy when you were talking about the kid from Florida. He was a bulky guy that, kind of played the run game really well, set the edge. He's got the body build to look like an elite speed rusher. Looks like he's got good length. We're watching a highlight tape, but everything you're showing looks good.
Yeah, well, when you go looking for bad plays, nobody wants to show you those. So
No.
we're trying to find what film we had of it. That was a nice tip when he's back in coverage.
No, but the two things that I've seen from both guys that they got committed right now is they both played in the flats well. It's something that, we asked Swinson to do a lot this year, play coverage, play the drop flat. Not saying that, he's going to be the next Swinson, but he's got the same kind of body build, that tall, lean.
6'5", 260 pounds.
Yeah, the guy that likes to, looks long and lanky, he can play that spot.
The final player we're going to talk about that we have film on that is committed and ready to sign is Mansour Delane from Virginia Tech, a cornerback ranked number 64 in On3's ranking. 6'1", 187 pounds. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's a freshman All-American. 3 years at Virginia Tech, 146 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 6 interceptions, and 16 PBUs. Let's take a little look at him. Here you see him on a deep ball against Syracuse. Actually, I think he got away with PI here. You're going to see another look at this.
I just like he got his head around on the ball.
Or at least
this is what we struggled with all year with our young DBs, is playing the ball, getting their head around, finding it. Just from that standpoint alone, he looks like he's a little bit more mature, understanding that he can't just play the man, play the ball.
Kind of playing a center field there on an overthrow. Gets the easy pick there against Virginia. Here's a play against Duke. You're going to see a better angle of this. The camera loses him here, but you're going to see an end zone shot of this here in a second. You're going to see him in pretty tight coverage here. You're going to get a better look at this here.
Once again, he gets his eyes around. He finds the guy. He just doesn't play the man. And look, I was high on Stamps, high on Woodland, but that was something that they struggled with doing this year. They were playing the man and not the ball.
There's a nice PBU in the end zone. Again, gets his head around. Plays the ball well there. Nice return here. Cheering section.
They're going to be upset.
You can see an end zone view of this. Yeah, good coverage there. I'm not sure where the quarterback threw that ball.
Just from all the clips, he's a guy that plays with his eyes. He feels the receiver, understands where he's at on the field, and then finds the ball.
One more, I believe, we got here, and that's off of a tip where he comes in and makes the interception. Oh, no, we got another one. Oh, it's the same one. Tip ball. Makes a catch, stays in bounds. That is Mansour Delane. We're brought to you by Dana Brown, the law offices of O.C. Brown. For over 20 years, they've trusted his team of attorneys, multiple legal needs over the years. The initial consultation is always free. You can trust Dana and his team of lawyers. If you've been in a car accident, if you've got other legal needs, the law office of O.C. Brown, your first and only call. Truly your law firm for a lifetime. Call them at 343-1111. On the web, it's OC Brown, OSSIEBrown.com. Right down the street is Town Square Pizza, delicious square-baked hot pizza, right made from scratch right in front of you. Not only are you going to get a delicious pizza in very generous portions, you're going to get it in a reasonable amount of time. If you're working downtown, you got only a short period of time to go get lunch, grab some Town Square Pizza right there in the Town Square, and you're going to be able to probably take some home because it's really, really big portions. Again, we're going to tell you that we're recording this on December the 16th because I'm going to give you a little bit of information. I don't want to get too far down the line. If you watch this on Wednesday, some of this information may be dated. But I'm going to tell you that there are a couple of players that LSU feels really good about. By the time you watch this, they may be in the fold. One of them is a receiver from Oklahoma named Nick Anderson. He is the number 11 player in the on-3 rankings in the transfer portal, 6'4", 219 pounds. Caught 38 balls last year. Now, when I say last year, I mean 2023 because he missed all of 2024. Yeah. 38 catches for 798 yards and 10 touchdowns. That was from Dylan Gabriel when he was at Oklahoma. Caught the winning touchdown pass against Texas. If you remember that game, 34-30, he caught the winning touchdown pass there. He redshirted in 2022, and he has 3 seasons of eligibility remaining, they believe, with the additional medical red shirt that they anticipate
34
coming.
34 receptions, 10 touchdowns.
38 receptions, 10 touchdowns.
To me, it sounds like a big play guy that is going to look to score on everything, either take it over the top deep. But when you have a tall guy like that, 6'4", 198 pounds, scoring that many touchdowns, I mean, that's what LSU is missing right now in the passing game. We don't have that big guy that can go out there and take it over the top.
6'4", 220 pounds, and you're a big play guy. That's pretty nice. Another player that LSU is zeroing in on, and again could have by the time you watch this, the 37th player in the portal rankings by On3 is Braylon Moore, 6'3", 290-pound offensive lineman from Virginia Tech. He played some guard, but he was primarily a center. 24 starts over the last 2 years. Played with his brother there, something you know a little bit about. But his brother's eligibility is up. He's looking to transfer and would fill a very necessary spot for LSU. We watched the tape here every week, and I think we're in agreement that taking a look at DJ Chester at guard is probably something they should do in the spring. If they could bring in an experienced center like Moore, that'd give them the luxury of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if you just bring in a guy that has played it for a few years, is really comfortable doing it, I think it makes Chester's job easier because Chester is a big guy that can move and can block, but when he's in the center position, there's a lot of thinking. You got to make sure everybody else is right. I mean, he's the quarterback of the offensive line. You get a more veteran guy in there and let him play a little bit more freely. It could free him up.
People are asking about where's the rest of the offensive linemen. I'm going to give you 2 names. I'm not going to tell you LSU is going to get either one of them, but one of them I know LSU is pursuing. The other one put his name into the transfer portal about an hour before we started this podcast, so I'm just going to throw it out there because when he busts into the rankings, it's going to be high. The first player I'm going to tell you about is Ratrell Perry, who's ranked number 136 by On3. He's out of Central. He's an offensive tackle out of Central Connecticut State, which I know is going to say Central Connecticut State. He's got some people after him. Trust me. 6'7", 325 pounds, so he doesn't lack for size. The other name, if LSU gets involved with this guy, it's going to create a lot of excitement, I think, because up until, like I said, about an hour or two ago, we thought more likely this guy was headed to the draft. And this is out of Washington State, which is hemorrhaging players like nobody's business. And I'm going to do my best at his name. Rich, you ready? Fa'alili Fa'amore, 6'5", 315-pound offensive tackle with a day 2 NFL draft grade, which means second or third round. Bypassing that, wants to put himself in going to put himself in the transfer portal and find somewhere where he can go out and play and possibly move himself into the first round. Like I said, I got nothing on that guy other than the fact that he put himself in the transfer portal about 90 minutes ago.
Yeah, if you're talking about a guy that's had day 2 grades, he's coming back. Maybe that he's had some scouts talk to him that if he worked on a few things, he could be a day 1 guy. And it's something that he can motivate himself to come back for, especially with NIL now. He can take some money up front. But like you said, he did this about an hour and a half ago. He's going to be a big name guy that probably is going to require some money.
Well, go get him. Yeah. go get some more linemen. Brian Kelly promised to be aggressive in the transfer portal, and they have been.
Yeah.
Right out of the chute here. My guess is that this is probably maybe a little over half of what they'll end up signing. I think this is going to end up being 10 or 12, maybe even 1 or 2 more besides that. So that's where we are as of Monday, December the 16th. Again, we will break for the holidays, and we'll be back with film study of LSU's bowl game against Baylor. By that time, we'll have some more. Hopefully, we'd come back after that and take a look at the rest of the guys in the transfer portal to kind of wrap up football season. Happy holidays, everybody. For Richard Dickson, I'm Charles Hanagriff. This has been the Handycast.